Dear ninth standard students, good morning. Today let us start the new lesson, that is whatever we do. Whatever we do means if any situation or if any circumstance we should do our activity or we should do our duty. So that is the whatever we do. When we do our activity, we should do that in a cultured manner. In a cultured manner. So, in this lesson, the writer discusses about the politeness in our words and actions and about our courtesy. So, that is whatever we do. That means the writer here describes about the describes or discusses about the politeness in our saying words and action, doing work, that about our courtesy. He gives some suggestions of politeness and courtesy in our words and actions. That means the intention of the writer is here, if we want to do our duty or if we want to do our duty, we should do them in a politenessly or in a courtesy manner. So, we should do them. Them means here our saying words and doing actions or activities or doing works. We should do them in a cultured manner. In a cultured manner. So, that is the intention of this lesson, or that is the intention of the writer of this lesson. Okay? He gives some suggestions of politeness. Politeness means being very good to others while we dealing with them, and courtesy in our words and doing actions. So, that is the intention of the writer of this lesson. Now, let us start this lesson, whatever we do, which is by Clifford Mortis. Which is by Clifford Mortis. I have already told that the intention of the Clifford Mortis, the writer of this lesson, is we should behave in a good manner or right manner through the saying words or doing activities. So, that is the intention of the writer of this lesson. Okay. So, in this lesson, the writer just wants to say some few suggestions. Say some few suggestions about our how to dealing with others. So, that is the main aim of this lesson or of the writer of this lesson, Clifford Mortis. First, let us discuss about the writer of this lesson. Clifford Mortis is a Christian by birth. He was born in a Christian community. So, he is a Christian by birth, a socialist by choice. A socialist by choice. He was born in a Christian community, but by chance he is a socialist and a lawyer by profession. Lawyer means the person who argue in the court about the favor of his clients. So, that kind of person is called as lawyer. So, he was born in a Christian community, but he is a socialist. That means good thinking about our society, about the people of our society. So he is a socialist by choice. That means according to him, he became the socialist and a lawyer by profession. That means he is doing his duty as a lawyer. Okay, he studied in Don Bosco High School, Lonavala, Pune in 1969. He was studied in the school Don Bosco, which is situated at Pune in 1969. He lives in Mumbai. His hometown is Mahim in Maharashtra. Okay, he lives in Mumbai. His hometown is Mahim in Maharashtra. He works with Every Child Our Child organization to bring happiness on every child's face. So he just wants to create the laughness towards the children. So he established the institution, that is Every Child Our Child. He works with Every Child Our Child, a child organization, to bring happiness to every child's face. And he is an RTI activist also. He is not only a socialist, he is not only a lawyer, but he is an RTI activist also. That means RTI means a right to information. Right to information. He works or he doing his job as the RTI activist. That means thorough that institution or thorough that law, he just wants to create the equality among the depressed classes or among the poor people of our country. So he is an activist of RTI. RTI means right to information. So we can say that the writer is a very talented person and he just wants to create the equality in the society or among the citizens of our country. So it is the brief introduction about the writer of this lesson, Clifford Mortis. He was born in Lonavala, which is near to Pune, or which is situated in Pune in 1969. He is not only a writer but a socialist and a lawyer. And also he made his activity with the RTI institution or an RTI law. So he is a very talented person. Who is that person? Clifford Mortis. Okay, let us then begin this lesson now. First I would like to read this lesson. All of you listen my reading with much more intention when I beginning my model reading. Okay, all of you open your books, page number 73. Page number 73. The new lesson I would like to commence or begin from this today, that is Whatever We Do by Clifford Mortis. Shall I begin the model reading of this lesson? Okay. Whatever we do, let's try to do it better. Our actions, our words, whatever it is, let us try to do it better. Success, they say, is a journey and not a destination. We can say progress also is a journey and not a destination. Therefore, we need not feel complacent that we are doing fine. We must constantly be on the lookout for better performance. If I want to thank someone, I can say thanks. But suppose I say thanks a lot, wouldn't it be better? Depending upon the time and the situation, we can try and improve this even further and say, I am very grateful for you, or you have been of great help. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and so on. This is a simple case of expressing gratitude. But when we think a little more, we can learn to do or say things in a better way by giving some thought to our action and speech. I had an appointment with a person who was senior to me in our erstwhile company. He was a bit late and trying to make amends. I said, I am sorry I made you wait. Oh, it's okay, he said and added, it's a pleasure waiting for you. I felt fluttered. One might argue that the other person might have said it without any thinking. Even then, I would say that I like to hear such statements unless, of course, they were said sarcastically. When we speak about saying or doing things better, a question arises about comparison because better usually follows than. Wise people say that we should compare ourselves with our own selves. I should compare my performance of last year and see whether I am doing better or not now. One of the ways in which we can do better is by adding words to our actions and also adding actions to our words. Let me tell you about an incident. I was waiting for the lift. The lift came down and I found that two fellows, shouldn't I say persons or even better gentlemen, started moving pockets which were fully occupying the lift. I noticed that they did the job fairly fast, giving me an impression that they did not want to delay me. In a little while, they finished the job and I got into the lift and went to my training center. In the class, I mentioned this incident and asked the trainees to explain how this particular situation would have been rendered better. A couple of trainees did mention that the two gentlemen who were removing the packets could have said just something like, 1 minute, sir, we will finish in no time. Nice answer, don't you agree? It would have made such a difference. But another trainee said, you could have thought of lending a helping hand to them. You go to a shop and ask for something. Most often the shopkeeper or the salesperson reaches out to the item you want and hands it over to you. No word, nothing. Suppose here we say, to say just two words, yes sir. In posh restaurants, the waiters or stewards do say good morning or some such thing and then ask for your order. But you have noticed how the waiters behave in most of our restaurants, in spite of the fact that the food and ambience are quite good. They usually come and stand near you expecting you to place the order. Suppose they say just 2 words, yes sir. Doctors treating patients can make their jobs much better if they choose to talk nicely to their patients. A word here or a word there. Most doctors are serious or even stern. Probably they imply that they are doing serious work. But talking nicely and reassuringly is also a part of treatment, isn't it? It is said that a couple of friendly words from the doctor or even a smile can go a long way in making the patient feel better. On a certain occasion, I hailed an auto rickshaw and said City Hospital. The auto man did not look at me but simply downed the meter. Well, it was a clear indication that he was willing to take me to my destination, but wouldn't it have been much better if he had said, yes sir, please get in sir, or simply said, come. The least he could have done was to make a gesture with his face or hand. I did mention the point to him, and to my good luck, he agreed with me. On another occasion, I called an auto and said, Central Market. He said, sorry sir, it's a time for me to hand over the auto. And to saying he hailed another auto and asked Group Central Market. That man agreed and I got in. This shows that we can say no also in the most pleasant way. Even a very ordinary thing like giving alms to a beggar can be done in a better way. Here, take this, we can say nicely and with some feeling. What do most people do? They refuse to look at the beggar. If he persists, they indicate that he should go ahead. Some say, munde hogappa, go further. Or some such thing. Some don't say anything but try to shun the beggar or their body language. And finally, when giving becomes inevitable, they give grudgingly. If we decide to give alms, we should not do so gracefully. In Mumbai, they have a nice way of saying maaf karo. That means please excuse me. It is a nice way of saying sorry, I am not able to give. We have a number of notices, instructions and orders like no parking, no smoking, no admission, visitors' cars not allowed, and so on and so forth. Don't these terms sound rather rough? True. People are trying to be brief because brevity is a genuine need in such public notices. But we have seen that at least in the case of smoking, people have made some innovation. Nowadays, they write, thank you for not smoking. Can't we try to use better terms in other cases also? I am not suggesting that in every case we should say thank you for. We can think of innovative methods to make our orders, instructions and notices sound more polite, more polished. In South India, some restaurants are famous for the tasty fare they offer. Naturally, therefore, they have big rush and it is a problem for the management. In one such restaurant, I saw a board, "Don't sit here for a long time." How old? Can they not say the something in better words? Luckily, I saw in another place a board, "Please make room for waiting customers." In yet another place, I saw a notice which read, "Kindly make room for waiting friends." It is our practice to be brief while sending telegrams. Here again the reason is brevity. If we want to save words in order to cut costs. So, if someone wants to request his brother to receive him at the station, he might send a telegram somewhat like this: "Reaching Mumbai, Thursday, Shatabdi, meet station." Now, just for the sake of one single word, the telegram has become totally devoid of any courtesy. What could be the additional cost of adding "please"? Nowadays, the telegram has been relegated to the background due to the coming of the telephone and the internet. But have we solved the issue of courtesy? Don't we see, or should I say here, people ask, "Who is this?" instead of saying, "May I know who is calling please?" In a certain book on communication, I found a very interesting method of asking who is calling. If you call Mr. Patil in his office, his secretary will receive the call, and before connecting to Mr. Patil, he would want to know who the caller is so that she can inform the same to Mr. Patil. What does the secretary say? She doesn't say, "Who is this?" or even, "May I know who is calling please?" She says, "Can I tell Mr. Patil who is calling please?" The idea is this. You want to talk to Mr. Patil. I do not wish to know who are you, but I must tell Mr. Patil who is calling him. Therefore, I am requesting you to tell me who you are. Consider how we respond when someone says thank you to us. In the olden days, people used to say, "Don't mention it." Later, people started using the phrase, "It's all right." Nowadays, people say, "You are welcome" or simply "welcome." One method of our improving our communication with others is to put "you" before "I" as far as possible. Consider some words like union, united, building, guiding, trusting, communication and so on. In these words, the letter "u" comes before the letter "I". This indicates to us that we should try to put "you", that is the other person, before "I". If I wish to thank someone for the nice party, I can say, "Your party was so enjoyable." I thank you. Another instance, your letter made me very happy. It may be noted that there is no limit to the improvement we can make in our action or speech. Nor can we say that a particular action or form of speech is the best. There is no formula. What is the best may depend on the occasion and it may be possible to continuously make improvement. The whole idea is to be aware of the need and importance of doing and saying things better and better. So, dear students, it is the model reading of this lesson. Whatever we do, which is by Clifford Mortis. Shall we begin the explanation of this lesson now? Okay. Whatever we do by Clifford Mortis. Whatever we do. Whatever we do. Do means here, whatever we do means here, whatever the words we are speaking or whatever the actions we are making. Let's try to do it better. So, let's try to do them in a better way or in a better manner. Them means here it is a pronoun which indicated about our speaking words or our doing works. So, whatever we do, the writer says here, whatever we do, we should do them in a better way. Our actions means here our doing works, our words, our saying words, whatever it is, when they are speaking words or when they are doing works, let us try to do it in a better way. Let us try to do them in a better way. Success, they say, is a journey and not a destination. When we want to achieve our goal, we may try to reach to our goal because we always want to get our success in our life. So, they say success, they say, is a journey and not a destination. Destination means here a place to which someone is going. That means our going aim, our goingness towards our aim. So that is success, they say, is a journey and not a destination. We can say progress also is a journey. Instead of success is a journey and not a destination, we can say that progress also is a journey and not a destination. Therefore, we need not feel complacent. Here, complacent means here complacent means here too pleased or satisfied oneself. That is complacent. So, we need not feel complacent. That means too pleased about our saying words or doing works that we are doing fine. We must constantly be on the lookout for better performance. While we are making our actions or saying our words, we should constantly be on the lookout for better performance. We should always try to make them in a better way or do them in a better way. More time in this lesson or in this class, I already more time used of the word them. Them means here our doing actions, our saying words. So that they are called as them. Them is here pronoun. Pronoun is a word which is used instead of a noun. So we must constantly be on the lookout for better performance. Because here the intention of the writer is here, when we want to do our duty or when we want to do our saying words or doing actions, we should do them in a better way or in a better performance. If I want to thank someone, I can say thanks. If anybody made help to me or help to us, then we may try to say them thanks. Because they made their help to us. So, if I want to thank someone, I can say thanks. I can say thanks. But suppose I say thanks a lot, instead of saying the thanks, suppose I say thanks a lot, wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't it be better? Instead of thanks, we may say thanks a lot. So, it is the better way to say thanks to someone instead of thanks. So, it is the, I can say thanks, but suppose I say thanks a lot, wouldn't it be better? Depending upon the time and the situation, we can try and improve this even further and say, I am very grateful for you. I am very grateful for you, or instead of that, you have been of great help. You have been of great help. You have been of great help. So these are all the many saying thanks, praises, whether we say to somebody's help. When we get the help from them, we can say thanks or a thanks a lot, or I am very grateful for you, or you have been of great help. And another one way is very beautiful, saying thanks way is here, that is, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and so on. These are all the very improving ways. These are all the very improving ways while we saying the thanks to others or somebody. Okay, when they give or when they give help to us, they say thanks. Otherwise, can we better it in a? Can we use it in a better it than thanks a lot, or I am very grateful for you, or you have been of great help, or another one most heart touchful saying praise is here or sentence is here. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and so dear students, these are all the different way of saying the thanks while we got help from them or got help from somebody. So these are all the very improving ways to say our gratitude towards the helpful persons. So here a very important question will be arise. That question is like this. What are the ways in which we usually thank a person for having helped? So they may ask the question like this: what are the ways in which we usually thank a person for having helped? When they ask this question, we should write these aspects in a right manner. Okay, thanks a lot. I am very grateful for you. You have been of great help, and I am very happy, or I thank you from the bottom of my heart. These are all the very improving sayings to help the persons. This is a simple case of expressing gratitude. Gratitude means here the feeling of being grateful. The feeling of being grateful, that is gratitude. This is a simple case of expressing gratitude. But when we think a little more, we can learn to do or say things in a better way by giving some thought to our action or speech. So, depending upon any situation or any time, when we think a little more, we can learn to do or say things in a better way or giving some thought to our action or to our speech. So, always we will try to do them in a better way. That means we may say the words that they can say in a better way, or we may do the work they may do in a better way. I had an appointment with a person who was senior to me in our erstwhile company. Here the writer just wants to express his own experience towards the readers. That experience was like this. He had an appointment. Appointment here means the purpose of the meet to somebody. So he had an appointment with somebody who was senior to him in his erstwhile company. Erstwhile means here formality company or previous company. We can say that previous company. When the writer had an appointment with his senior in his previous company, he was a bit late and trying to make amends. While he had an appointment with his senior, he had some late. He had late and trying to make sorry or amends. He said, "I am sorry, I made you wait." He just requested his excuseness towards that senior person, that he was sorry he made him wait. "Oh, okay, it's okay," he said and added, "It's a pleasure waiting for you." He said that person, that senior person said this in a sarcastical manner. Sarcastical manner means here a way to using words that are opposite of what you mean satirically. What you mean in satirically. So that is sarcastically. So when he had an appointment with that senior person, when he was late to meet him, when he made his sorry towards him, he said that it is a pleasure waiting for him. He felt during that situation, he felt ashamed. He felt shamed. That means that person said those words in a sarcastical manner. One might argue that the other person might have said it without any thinking. Even then, I would say that I like to hear such statements unless or of course they were said sarcastically. So in some circumstances or in some situations, some persons say their spoken words in a sarcastic manner. So here the senior person who said those words in a sarcastic manner, that he was very happy to waiting for him. So it is another way how can we behave while we have an appointment with others. When we speak about saying or doing things better, a question arises about comparison. A question arises about comparison because better usually follows than. Whenever we facing the situation, we need not compare ourselves with the others. Wise people say that we should compare ourselves with our own selves. We should always compare ourselves. We should always compare ourselves with our own selves. So I should compare my performance of last year and see whether I am doing better or not now. So when we compare ourselves with our own selves, it is the right manner, it is the right way we are behaving in the society. So when we compare ourselves in our own selves, we may achieve something in our life. We should not try to compare our effort with the others. Okay, it may hurt to us or it may hurt to them. But when we compare ourselves with our own selves, we should do or we should achieve something in our life. So I should compare my performance of last year and see whether I am doing better or not now. Okay, now these are all the very